So this morning, find us in Easthampton at the Mount Tom Reservation. We're one of two cars that are in here after the gates opened, and it is about 8:45, so we're getting a late start today. But the park gates only open around 8:30. We've had intermittent snow flurries and sun, but with all of the melting, it looks as if we're not going to need any traction this morning. So we're going to head right for the trailhead and start our climb. So we're starting on the New England Trail. The M&M section, which runs through Massachusetts, you can see starts Connecticut, 21 miles south of us, and goes all the way up to Mount Whiting, which is close to Pepperell area, which we've hiked before, and cuts directly through the state of Massachusetts. So let's get going. And here's our first intersection of the Quarry Trail, and we're just going to keep going straight ahead up the New England Trail, where they've actually put in some very nice steps for us. So this will make the going a little bit easier as we go climb up to the ridgeline. Oh boy, ice. Whew. Well, if I turn this camera from level to slightly downward look, you can see this little cliff was just scrambled up. It was short and fun, but the ice made it a little bit scary. The sun just doesn't get down into the crag to melt the ice. So we've come about 1 mile and have climbed to the top of this ridge line. So that's been a climb of about 500 feet from the visitor center. And as we look to the north, you can see through the haze barely the Mount Holyoke range, Mount Holyoke State Park, and the Seven Sisters, which is supposed to be another really pretty hike that we could say for another day. That river is the Connecticut River, and the sharp bend is known as the Oxbow. And then as we look to the west, we see Easthampton, Massachusetts, pretty little sleepy village, which is being caught just perfectly in the sunrise over the ridgeline. And as we turn toward the south, you can barely make out the next summit that we're going to climb to the top of. So looking back to the north, you can see the summit we've just come down, which is Whiting Peak. And before Mount Tom, we actually have to climb to this next summit, which is called Deadtop. And it's the intersection with the Department of Conservation Trail, which we've taken before to hike up to Whiting Peak. So head for that intersection and then continue on to Deadtop Peak. So here we are on another ledge, about a 400, 500 foot drop, pretty much straight down. You will bounce a little bit on the way down, I guess. And once again, there's a nice view of Easthampton. So, we've come to just below the summit of Mount Tom, and now it looks as if the trail is just a cascade of ice sheet. So, got two options. One is to get some traction on and try to hike up the sheet of ice, which is precariously close to the edge of this drop-off. Or we could try to get around it on this scree slope to the left. So let's try the scree first. And if that doesn't work, we'll come back down and chain up. There's a fair amount of ice up here as well. All right. And now, try to dodge the ice here. Whew. Okay. That's quite a little ice flow, but navigated around that pretty well. Oh, what a beautiful view of the cliffs and the sunrise. All right, almost there. Boy, the farther I go, the more ice there is. I think it's a good time to just stop and get some micro spikes on. Oh, actually, there is a way around. Little steps. And here is quite the sheer drop off. Exposed ledges of Mount Tom. And it turns out that our trail goes right up the slabs. So, let's see how bad the ice is. There's some, but it's avoidable. Oh yeah, this is definitely not the kind of thing that my wife or son would be into. See, very steep with a sheer drop off. Really pretty views. So we've made our way basically along the edges of these cliffs, and I think we're running out of up. So we must be getting very close to our destination. So now I've reached a dilemma. There is the summit of Mount Tom. It's only 3/10 of a mile away, but we have to go down and then climb back 300 feet. And I had planned to turn around in about 10 minutes because the park closes at 4 o'clock sharp. They lock the gates, and I want to get back there before that happens. So the fact that the park opens very late means that it was going a lot slower than I thought with all the ice. So I think prudence says we turn back and try to come back here on a day when there's less ice on the trail so we can move quicker, or when there's more daylight so we have some more hours to get into the park. So we will save Mount Tom for another day and take a water break up here where there's a nice place to sit and look out over the mountains. So for all you people at Eastman, here are 2 pieces of this broken scree from the cliff. And you can hear how glassy it is. It's very, very different than the sound that rocks would make down in the White Mountains in New Hampshire, which are mostly granite. And you can also see just from the fracture patterns that this material breaks off in plates and rods rather than just having a totally amorphous cleavage pattern. It actually does cleave. So very, very different stone than you have in the White Mountains. All right, time to climb yet another cliff.